Got it.
Caleb,
Hey,
welcome to the show. You're big time now.
I'm honored to be here. Finally.
What are we gonna do now? Because
I
we
know.
worked together at Axelrad Screen Printing, and I feel like for
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
every day I'd see you, you're like, hey, when do I get to come on the show? And all the guys in the back, like Dante and all those guys, like, hey, when are you having Caleb on? And
Dante's been harassing you.
here we are. Here we are.
Finally. Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I'm
Caleb is
happy.
a co-owner of Bazaar Skateshop in downtown Scranton.
Yeah.
Are we looking at what, 2 years now?
A little over 2 years.
A little
Our
over
2 year
two.
anniversary was in October, but technically we got a sign in the door and got everything started around July. So maybe like 2.5 years,
Okay.
closer to three.
All right. We'll dig deeper into that.
Yeah.
Caleb's also been in a few bands. You might know of a couple of them. One was Warren. You said you're not so much active in that anymore, but you are part of a new band called Choice to Make.
Yeah.
You're involved with doing some show booking throughout the area,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of how this can be. You said today that you were listening to my episode with Ray Mione of
Oh yeah.
Drowville Booking. And I'm like, sick, man. That's sick. You're the only person that probably ever listened to my show. So here we are.
Oh my God. That's not the truth at all. But yeah, yeah. I've known Ray for years. I've been seeing him at shows since I was a little kid, you know. I honestly don't know the age difference, but we'll both forever be like 15 in my brain, I guess.
I feel like I don't know what it's funny to me. I don't know why, but like I kind of see a lot of him and you and him. It's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Because I
I don't
realize Caleb, we worked together. It's been almost 3 years. I don't really know
yeah,
you at all. I don't even know your last name.
really.
Really.
It's Hartnett, so
I didn't know that.
there you go. Now you know.
So we're gonna
Yeah,
spend more
honestly,
time.
we have worked together a long time,
Yeah.
but it's never really gone much past like little jokes and stuff with each other, you know?
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
so
spend more time tonight
yeah,
than
I'm
we have in the
excited.
past 3 years. What are you drinking?
Mm, Blizzard of hops.
Oh, Trogs, nice. I so today actually, as you were said it to me that you were listening to my show, I was on my way to Fegley's Brew Works
Ooh,
in
nice.
Bethlehem. We print for them. Shout out
Yeah.
Fegley's, and they have this Rude Elves Reserve, and so I
Oh
delivered
yeah.
their order today. And I grabbed a 4 pack of that. It's
Ooh, that's awesome.
a Belgian style ale brewed with spices, 10.5 ABV.
Oh my God.
I may not make it through this episode.
Yeah, well, you got work tomorrow, bud, so better be
Hmm,
careful.
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Tony will yell at me if I.
Yeah, yeah. But we both got the winter beers going on, so it's perfect.
I mean, it is December. Today is this is recorded. Today is, oh man,
Yep.
my watch died. Today is what, December 6th.
Yeah.
This will probably air in a couple of weeks. But
Cool.
yeah, holiday season. The shop's busy. Um,
Yeah, I
where do you want
mean,
to start? Where do you want to start? I mean, I kind of want to start with like, who is Caleb? Again, I just found out
sure.
your last name. Don't know much
Yeah.
about you. So maybe, my viewers, listeners, may not know you either. So, tell us a little bit about who Caleb is.
Yeah. I mean, chances are most people watching won't know who I am. But I don't know. I co-own the skate shop in downtown Scranton, Bazaar. I've been going to playing shows for most of my life and started booking a little more recently, but I wouldn't call myself like a show booker quite yet. I think I gotta kind of earn those stripes, but yeah, I mean, I've just been involved with the music, art, skateboarding scene in this area since I was a little kid, you know. It's something I've always loved and you know, if anyone watching does know me, it's probably from seeing little Caleb at like a punk show back in the day or like out skateboarding or doing one form of art or another.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say, I mean, everything you do is very artistic, right? I mean, you screen print at Axelrad.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
You know, you have this, skate shop, an art of skating. You said an artist, a musician. That's obviously an art as well.
Yeah.
I always say that people have this side of their brain that I don't have. I don't have that part of the brain that uh, can access those traits, I guess you could say.
I don't know. I mean, even just looking at like the background, the fact that you put in attention and detail to the home decor, that's an art form in its own right, you
What,
know?
back here?
Yeah, it looks great.
No, we'll see it. My wife, she calls me the Grinch. I don't really care for
Oh no.
Christmas, so she bought me that. It's Grinch Street.
Yeah, I
She's
love it.
softened me up over the years.
Yeah.
We used to every year we'd fight over during Christmas, like because she
Oh
wants to
man.
decorate early, like the week before Thanksgiving even. Now we don't put the
Oh
lights
man.
on until like the first week of December,
Yeah.
but we're decorated. We're ready to go. And I for the years, we would literally it was every year it was a fight. And it's my fault. I guess I'm a grump. And I want no part of it. But having kids, and just her over the past 15 years, just kind of wearing down those sharp edges of the stone, I guess you
Lightened
could
you
say.
up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's the kids. The kids really got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing their face. My son's almost 6 years old now.
Oh damn.
I mean, I even know I had a
Wow.
kid.
Yeah, me neither.
I've
But
got
I mean,
two.
you've been doing it for 6 years.
Yeah, I've got two kids now, and it's just like it's
Oh
fun to
wow.
see them. Yeah, it's really fun to see them. But yeah, I mean, well, the background here is just, I mean, there's some
I
Christmas
mean,
lights. This is
I
pretty.
love it. I'm a very festive person. I mean, I don't know if you can really see much of the decor in here, but I did a lot of lighting stuff. I'm a big fan of festivities. So,
Well, you're in the skate shop now, right?
yeah, that's currently where I am. I stopped by
Nice.
my parents' house in Scranton. I live in Wilkes-Barre, so
Very cool.
since I was up here, I stopped by the shop.
It's a great setting for what we're doing right now.
Yeah, right? I love
So
it.
yeah, so let's dig into Bazaar. A little over 2 years.
Yeah.
So not only you're also an entrepreneur, and we have a bunch of those at the shop. I feel like
Yeah.
Kate Kishbaugh just opened up her
Oh, I
shop,
know.
Shop
One of the
Sunny.
candles right there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Shop Sunny in Luzerne.
Yeah.
Um, obviously Dave and Matt, the owners of Axelrad, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You started the skate shop. So talk about, I mean, obviously, I mean, I know that you're in the skating scene, so it kind of makes sense that you'd open a skate shop, but I
Yeah.
mean, not everyone just says, I'm gonna open up a shop and then they actually do it. So how did Bazaar kind of come to be?
Um, so real quick, just to make a note on what you were saying earlier, it's a lot easier to get into the world of starting your own project, whether it be a business or a venue or whatever, when you're surrounded by like-minded people like that. And I think that's why Axelrad is so filled with like self-starters, I mean, like we've all seen what each other are doing and are asking each other for advice, and I think that's really cool. But when Bazaar started, it was just like me and my buddy Tom texting each other, both trying to figure out what we were doing with our lives. And not that we thought that this would be like our career, that this would be the start of like the way we make a living, but we just needed something to kind of fill that gap of like during the pandemic, our lives were changed a lot, not only by like the pandemic itself, but like, we both had a lot of big life stuff going on, a lot of decisions that were made, and you know, we were skating every day, and that was the one consistent thing is like we had a big group of friends that all supported each other, all gave each other something to look forward to. And we just kind of started talking about the idea of how cool it would be to have something like that. So instead of like hanging out in a freezing like parking garage in downtown in the middle of December after skating, we could just go back to like a warm shop or something and watch videos and drink and hang out. Um, and then after a little bit, I just kind of texted Tom saying that we should do it. And part of me was like, the fearful side of me was like hoping he would kind of be like, oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I think I lost Caleb. I think I lost you. Oh no. Oh no. Are you there? Caleb, come back.
I'm trying.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Is it me or is it you?
Where
I don't even know.
I have no clue. You froze on my end
Oh,
also.
so
I
you
could hear your
so
voice,
you
but I couldn't see the
that's weird. You
I don't know.
froze on me completely. So I apologize. If it's my fault. But
Oh, that's okay.
you were saying that you
Um,
were kind of hoping Tom was kind of gonna maybe blow you off.
oh, yeah. So the fearful side of me was hoping that he would do that, but there was that part of me that genuinely wanted to make it happen, and he was instantly down, and then we each kept doing our little part to make to keep the ball rolling, you know? And then once all of our friends saw it becoming more and more real, they all started pitching in, and then the snowball kept getting bigger. And then finally, I think it was 4th of July. It was the first Friday weekend of July. I think it was 4th of July weekend. And we put the sign in the window saying skate shop coming soon. And immediately I was hit with like major anxiety. And so was Tom, because now it wasn't just like a little secret between us and our friends. Now it's public. So it's like we have to deliver. And then, it just kind of slowly started piecing itself together. And honestly, like me and Tom are the owners, but I've said this before to other people, but like it's not only owned by me and Tom. There's a whole crew of friends that have made it possible, whether they gifted us like an open sign or whether they built the shelves on the wall or helped us find display cabinets, whatever it was, like every piece was just as like fundamental and necessary as the next. So, and then now that it's like 2.5 years past, it's kind of crazy to look back and see that it has worked out so far. One of our friends from down Bethlehem way, he's the closest skate shop to us, called Home Base. Shout out them, because incredible skate shop. But when they were giving us advice and stuff, he said, try to see where you want to be in 5 years with the shop. And that thought terrified me, because it's like I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow,
Right.
much less 5 years from now. But now it's been 2.5 years, and I'm like, time flies so fast that to someone who's owned a skate shop for 20 years, 5 years is nothing,
Mhm.
But at the time, it seemed like a giant undertaking or overtaking. I don't know which, but you get the idea.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like owning a business is hard. And I mean, it's no secret. It is hard. Were there obstacles that you faced just getting the doors open? Because I feel like they don't make it easy. There's a lot of red tape you got to get through, and like licenses and permits and you name it. Like
Yeah.
they basically they literally climb up your asshole and ask to see everything. Um, what obstacles did you kind of come across that, and did it ever almost deter you from doing it?
I don't know if it ever necessarily deterred us from doing it. Once we kind of had the plan set in place, I think our crew of friends wouldn't let us not go through with it. Once they saw the ball rolling, everyone was on board with it. And if we gave up, they would kick our ass and make us change our minds. But I mean, I don't know, like the paperwork was obviously a pain in the ass and all the bureaucratic shit. it's never fun. But I mean, for the most part, we were lucky with how smooth of a process it was. I mean, there were definitely some learning curves from the beginning to now, and I mean, we're still super young, so there's a lot more to come, but just figuring out how to order things properly, the best way to do like merchandising and like the best way to go about, I don't know, there's so many different little things we had to figure out as we were going along. But the great thing was is like if we made a mistake, we would learn from it and then we would be able to be a better shop for that. And I mean, most of the stuff that makes us like exist or helps us exist as a shop are things that we love doing anyway. Whether it be like skate jams or just building a community by hanging out with young kids that come in the door that want to skate, that are looking for people to like go out skating with them. It's like all of those aspects are the things that we were looking forward to doing, and those are the reasons why we're still here. But as far as things that were going to deter us from going on with it or that stressed us out, made it a thought that it wouldn't keep going, mostly just, you know, bureaucratic stuff and figuring out how to place orders properly and the literal businessy side of it.
Yeah, I
Everything
mean,
else is a piece of cake.
would you say that you had a business plan going into it, or just kind of like, you know what, we're just gonna, roll the dice. We're gonna bet on ourselves, and like you said, kind of navigate it and kind of figure it out as you went along. Because a lot of business people say you have to have a business plan. You got to do that. But there's some really brilliant people out there who started businesses who like, fuck that. Just, you know what? Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and this goes with the approach to playing in bands, the approach to owning a business, the approach to doing any kind of creative project like that. I think book smarts are necessary to an extent, but unless you're performing open heart surgery, the most important factor is honesty and just being true to like what your passions are.
Yeah.
Because I can even see with bands, if a band is on the technical side making all the right decisions, but the relatability and the honesty isn't there, I couldn't give two shits about the band, whether it
Right.
be booking them, going to see them, touring with them, whatever. And it's the same thing with the business. And you see that, especially with skate shops, record stores, comic book shops, if it has to do with like a specific niche interest, real recognize real at the end of the day. So if someone who's book smart opens a shop that doesn't care about skateboarding but sees some form of like profitability
Right.
in it,
You'll see
real
through that.
skaters are gonna pick that out in a
Right.
second.
They'll see
And
right
that's
through that.
what
Yeah.
separates, I think, like a successful skate shop for one that exists for maybe 2 years and then doesn't work out. Because I can tell you right now, a skate shop is not the the treasure chest.
Yeah. It's not a retirement plan.
No, it's not. It's definitely a passion thing for sure. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like that's why we do it because we're passionate about it. We have friends that make a living, but if we never do, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep we'll keep working at Axelrad or wherever and running the shop until we can't anymore,
Right.
which hopefully won't be for a very long time.
I hope so too.
Thanks.
Um, you mentioned it about doing events, and I've seen a lot of, events sponsored by Bazaar Skateshop. And it's not just, local to Scranton. It's, the opening of the skate park in Wilkes-Barre. I feel like you've done some shows at Curry Donuts in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
It's cool that, while your home base is Scranton, it's far from, where you're kind of limited to. You're definitely expanding the brand and the exposure to other places.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that was probably very important to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I grew up living in Scranton, but I live in Wilkes-Barre now. Well, Wilkes-Barre area technically, but I mean, one thing that I hated when I was a little kid was all the cool stuff was going on somewhere that I wasn't. And I think an important thing to us is inclusivity, making sure that everyone gets to experience the shop. And I mean, there was a skate shop on Wyoming Ave in 44, I think back in the day. They're called Hope Skate Shop. And that was like one of my first bits of exposure to that culture. But I had to travel all the way down to Wilkes-Barre to experience that. So it's cool that we get the chance to step out of our little bubble and, you know, bring the culture to kids in other places. I mean, right now it's mostly just Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, but hopefully in the future we could do like jams in like Holly and I don't even know where else. I guess like
Wherever.
Carbondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere. So it definitely helps with exposure, like getting the name out there, but I think more so it just gives kids something to do anywhere that our shop could make like an impact.
Yeah, and talk about the skating community. I was never a skater. I always kind of, I mean, I grew up in the country, so I didn't really
Yeah.
have a place to skate, even if I wanted to. It wasn't exposed to me. I wasn't around it. I rode bikes, but nothing like I was never like in a BMX and shit like that. But talk
Sure.
about the community, like the skating community, because you know, I think it kind of it's much better today, but I think back in the day it had this like negative uh connotation to it, like the kids being punks and like screwing
I
off
mean,
and
we still are.
well, yeah, but not as you're still good kids though. I mean, like you're not out
Yeah.
there. Maybe you are. Maybe you're still tagging shit and all that kind of nonsense. But I mean, I know who you are, and I don't think you're doing that. I'm sure there's you know those in the bunch, but
Yeah, yeah.
it has this like it always had this like aura about it that it, is like just a bunch of jerk offs. Like
Yeah.
talk about what the skate community is. I mean, 'cause I think it's a lot more than that.
It definitely is a lot more than that. I mean, I will say one of the things that attracted me to skating when I was younger is that edge to it. And I mean, honestly, it's what attracted me to hardcore music, punk music, graffiti culture, skateboarding. All of that was the danger element. I'm not an intimidating person whatsoever, but I like to surround myself with intimidating circumstances just because I don't know, there's something attractive to me about that, like that fear element. Now I mean, I don't know, skateboarding definitely has lost its edge a little bit over the years, somewhat for the good, somewhat for the not so good. But I mean, the positive aspects definitely are, back in the day, I think people were a little more judgmental, gatekeepy. Um, they would vibe you out if you walked in and showed signs of not being real, which to a point helps keep a community like that thriving because you need people to eye each other up and make sure everyone's there for the right reasons. But it also can turn real people away from it out of the fear element, I guess.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, when I was a little kid going into a skate shop or going into a record store or whatever, like part of the reason why I wanted to go so bad was because I wanted to feel that like feeling of like, whoa, like this isn't something that's everywhere and like I'm getting to be a part of something, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, for us personally, we try to be as open to everyone as possible. We try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, even if someone comes in acting a little uh dumb, I guess. I don't know. There are a lot of
Sure.
stories that come to mind when I say that, but I won't get into it.
Sure. I get you.
But for the most part, we're welcoming to everybody, you know, and it's like you have to give us a reason to vibe you out. Um, Now I'm starting to forget the question. I'm sorry.
No, it was just talking about the
Hmm.
the label that people gave to the
Yeah.
skating culture that, maybe wasn't
Yeah.
warranted or maybe just changed over the years.
I mean, I think it's still there to a point, because I mean, no matter what changes, no one's gonna be happy that we're skating their front porch, you know, or like skating the steps out front of their house or whatever, you know. So I mean, there will always be that element, but I think it kind of needs to be there because skateboarding's not supposed to be like baseball or football, even though those things are fine, but it's supposed to have that underground element to it. And it's the same thing with hardcore and punk. I mean, right now, all of the things that I've loved for my whole life are becoming a lot more popular in the mainstream, which is cool to an extent, but now more than ever, people have to kind of be careful to not sell out their own culture. You know, it's like if hardcore becomes the next like mainstream music style, it's going to lose the whole element that made it what it was in the beginning. That dangerous, exciting, authentic, earnest culture. So I mean, same goes with skating. Now it's in the Olympics. Now there are kids that are more like contest oriented and it's more of a sport to them as opposed to a culture, which in its own right is fine. It helps get places like Wilkes-Barre Skate Park. But we have to be careful to make sure that the culture is intact. That, you know, people can be a weirdo and still be accepted because once something becomes mainstream, you have to kind of follow different guidelines.
Right.
Whereas when it was underground, you could be yourself and not worry about getting like condescended down to or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I like your point of view on that.
Next,
It kind of has to be, it has to stay that way.
need a little like salt with the sweet, you know, you
All right.
can't have all one or the other.
Yeah. Well, you,
So
you mentioned hardcore music and punk and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Let's talk about a little bit about your involvement with music.
sure.
Um, I believe you play the drums.
I play a little bit of everything. Over the years I've played almost every instrument live except vocals. Thank God, because that is terrifying.
You're not a
But
front man?
no, not
No?
yet. Not
There's always
yet,
time. You got time.
I guess. Maybe. But yeah, so yeah, I play a little bit of everything.
Well, the music you perform is of the hardcore genre.
Yeah, pretty much every band I've played live is one form or another of hardcore. I played in One Step Closer for a while. That's more on the melodic side. Choice to Make we've been a band since 2018, so
Oh wow,
whatever the math is on that.
5 years.
Yeah, yeah. And then Warren has been a lot longer than I've been in the band, but I joined right around 2019. I
Okay.
want to say so. 4 years with that. They're all different forms of hardcore and punk. Yeah.
I didn't know that you spent any time in One Step Closer. I interviewed Ryan maybe 2 years ago at this point.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, it's funny
Nice.
too because I used to live across the street from him.
Oh, and Pringle.
in Pringle. Yeah. So I don't
Nice.
know. I don't know the timeline of you guys together, and if you were ever at his house. It's just kind of
Yeah,
funny that maybe we had crossed paths, not knowing.
we
Kind of,
honestly might have.
yeah. I'm quite a bit older than you guys. So when when I lived across the street, I mean, I was never bothered by it, but those kids were outside skating and all that kind of stuff, and jamming in the basement, and I heard
Oh
all of it,
man.
and
Yeah.
I would always hear like the skateboard hitting the road or the sidewalk, and sitting in my house. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's funny how that kind of
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
Man,
I lived
small
there.
world,
Yeah, I lived
small
there.
valley.
Yeah, was it 2010 to 2016, and then I rented it for a couple years, and I sold it
Yeah.
uh, in 2019. But
Oh wow.
yeah, I didn't know that you were a part of that project. That's cool.
Yeah, I was a touring member from 2018 to 2020 because of the pandemic. And
Sure.
then I think I did 2 or 3 tours after things started coming back. And then since then they kind of finalized a lineup, got things sorted out, and also I opened the shop. So it kind of worked out where it was like they asked me if I wanted to be all in or if I wanted to focus on the skate shop, and obviously I picked the skate shop. So that's kind of where that went, but I still Ross is one of my best friends, and Ryan, I've loved him
Yeah,
since the day I met him. And
they're always popping in, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in that band for a while. And then Choice to Make and Warn were Choice to Make's the one of the three that I've was there from the very beginning and continue to be in. Warn, I wasn't the original drummer. Was friends with them for a long time, and then they needed a drummer. So I filled in the position, and it's been 4 years, and now I'm kind of trying other stuff out. So
That's cool. And you said you're more active with Choice to Make,
now I am, yeah.
so you had a choice to make.
I did have a choice to make, and I made it. Yeah.
Dad joke.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, between all of them, and I mean, I've been in 100 other little bands since I was a freshman in high school, but those are the three that have taken up the most of my life in the past, like 10 years, maybe a little less, but yeah.
And as far as a hardcore, is that just that's kind of what you've been surrounded by? So that's kind of what you gravitated to, or that's what you love, or
Yeah, I mean, when I was a little kid, I mean, my sister, I can thank for most of my interests currently, even though I've kind of taken off with them a little more than she has. But she's about 6 years older than me. When I was a little kid, all of her like friends in the neighborhood were like spiky hair punk kids that skated and used spray paint and all that. And as a little kid, I instantly was like in awe of that culture. I loved like the energy. I loved the I don't know, like the exciting, fearful aspect. Fear in a good way. There's got to be a better word, but you know where I'm
I
going with
got you.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um, and then as I got older, I just kept digging deeper into it. But my biggest frustration was is I didn't really know about anything going on in my area. So I thought I was one of the only like punk kids around. But then once I went into high school, um, Kate's Mike, uh, yeah,
My Michael.
my Michael, Kate's my Michael. Um, yeah, me and him met my freshman year of high school, his sophomore year. And we instantly became really good friends. I remember him wearing like an Operation Ivy hoodie in the hallways. And I was like, dude, I thought I was the only one. And then he kind of opened me up to that world more. And then hardcore, in a way is cool because it's like it's really hard to find out what's going on, but the second you get like a little taste of it, the floodgates just open up. So it's like he told me about a show that was going on at the Vintage Theater in downtown Scranton. So I went to it, and it was like my first experience of like punk music in real life. Captain We're Singing is not necessarily like the most like capital P punk band, but they were an aspect of that underground culture. And then, from there, started going to shows at Redwood, and I would see Title Fight like as often as I possibly could. And I would go see like a lot of local bands, and even like there's this band United Youth that was from this area, and now I'm in a band with one of the members of United Youth. And it all the pieces started connecting, and then I was so like entranced with it that I would do anything to go see a band that I liked, whether it be go to like New Jersey, New York, Philly, Richmond, Boston, fucking, I don't know, the list goes on. But this area has connections to all of those places, and I think it's because a lot of people had the same mindset that I have, where it's like you grow up thinking you're the only person interested in something. Then you find out that there's a whole world that caters to what you love,
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
It's a cool scene. I never got involved in it. Again, I grew up in the country, so I mean,
Yeah.
the times that I left that little bubble of Hunlock Creek, Sweet Valley, was
Yeah.
very rare. I rode bikes a lot, like I said, but when I turned 18 and hit, entered college, and when I started the Weekender, I found out this whole scene existed that I never even knew of.
Yeah.
Um, it's neat. And
Yeah. No.
going back to Michael, I mean,
Oh, my Michael.
have you ever? The thing about him is like I've never met a nicer person. Like,
Other than me.
yeah, of course, other than you. But like, I don't know. There's something about that kid. Like, he's like impossible to hate
Yeah, that's
or
true.
dislike. It just,
Yeah.
you know, um, he just cool to hang out with. Just one of the nicest people.
Oh yeah.
Likes to have a
We've
good
been
time. Doesn't never over the top. Like, you
yeah,
just chill, dude.
soft spoken guy. I love him.
Yeah, but likes to have a good time and hang out.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's the best. We've been best friends since I was a freshman in high school, I think in 2010, maybe 2009. I forget. But uh ever since then we've been best friends. So yeah, love that
That's cool.
guy.
Yeah, he's the man.
Definitely. We were in a band for a good couple years too. Actually, my first band was with him.
Really?
We were
I don't
called
even picture him playing music.
Really?
No,
I mean, he's good. He's good
I
at
bet. I'm sure he
instrument.
is. He's a
Yeah,
handsome guy. He's probably really good at everything he does.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know what?
he definitely is.
Forget
But
what I said. I hate that guy.
oh yeah,
That guy sucks.
all right. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow.
Uh,
But yeah, my first band ever was with him. I think that started my freshman year of high school. We were called Team, and we would play with another local band that will forever be one of the best bands from this area, Halfling. They're so good. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that band in its own right opened me up to more than just like capital P punk. If it didn't sound like Black Flag or the Circle Jerks when I was younger, I hated it. But then when I started playing in that band with Mike and some of my other friends, Sean and Aaron, they would open me up to like At the Drive-In and I don't know, Stone Roses or Third Eye Blind or like whatever different thing that I would usually write off was, and then that honestly helped me open my perspective to other styles of music. And I mean, that's so important to me now because it's like I'll go see any band now, regardless of the style of music, and I'll go in with an open mind. Um, and I think when I've seen my friends book shows, I think that's an important aspect because there'll be people who start a band that sounds like Deftones, and then they'll also start a band that sounds like, I don't know, like the Germs, and then they'll also start a band that sounds like the Smiths. Like, so being open to all different genres, I think, is super important to building a scene in the area. I'm rambling now. I just realized, but
You're not. You're
um,
good. You're good. It all makes sense, and
yeah,
you're absolutely right.
thank you.
As far as I'm trying to, you shouldn't be closed minded. You should, open yourself up to new things because you could take those things and apply them to what you do and what you love, and it's to ever close yourself off from things in life is a shame wherever it is.
Yeah, definitely. And that kind of goes back to skating where like the kids were like the like rough punk kids and stuff. It's cool to have cultures that force people to be open-minded because it really does like help make things exist that wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. So you mentioned some friends who book shows, and we talked earlier that when we started that you also have kind of gotten into that space. Nothing crazy, but it's something that you've done, and I think I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure it has something to do with wanting to expose people to different styles, different genres, things like that, and also just to kind of maybe even see them yourself, right? But
Oh, definitely.
talk about what you've done so far with just booking the bands.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple different things that had put me in the position to book bands in the area. The one was so Bazaar when we first opened had a Go Skate Day jam in Scranton at Jackson Streets, like the local skate park. We could talk about that later, but so we had that event, and then Matt Wren, who also works with us,
Shout out Matt
who,
Wren.
huh?
Said shout out Matt Wren. I
Oh
keep
yeah,
saying to Matt, I'm like, Matt, let's open a venue. And he's like, I know, I'm trying to
he's
get my
done
life.
that.
I know he's done it. Yeah, exactly. He's already done it. He's like, I'm trying to get my life together. Like it's a headache.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, you're good. I mean, yeah, Matt, ever since I was a little kid, he was the guy that was always around booking the shows. And now I'm lucky enough to be best friends with him, But um after we had the Go Skate Day Jam, which was just pretty much 100% skate oriented, which is great. That's, we're a skate shop. But he said it would be cool to do another skate jam in the summer, but like have it be half skate jam, half show. And then I took his idea and I stole it. And then I booked some bands that I was in, some bands that I wasn't, that I loved. And now that's the tradition of every year we do the Go Skate Day Jam in the beginning. And then we do the end of summer skate jam in Wilkes-Barre at the end. And I that is like the thing that I'm always most excited to do because it's like I'll put the most effort into that. And instead of just asking bands because I'm like, they might be interested and it would fit the bill and yada yada. Instead, it's like, what bands am I dying to see around here? So that's cool in its own right. But aside from that, it'll usually be like one of my friends from out of town will hit me up saying my band's touring and Wilkes-Barre is on the route. would you be able to help us out with the show? And then that just makes it easier to be like, okay, like now when I ask other bands, I'll say this band is locked in because they asked me to book it because they're on tour, and then I'll go from there. Um, and I mean, it's been a lot of stuff in between. But I've been trying to get my hand into booking a little more than I used to. But I mean, my friend TK, he was in United Youth and is now in Choice to Make. He books shows. Uh, my friend Nate that sings in Choice to Make, he books shows. There's my buddy Nate from Bethlehem who actually books in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area. So I mean, between all of us, I think we're kind of trying to build our own little scene back up because, it got a little quiet during the pandemic. Things died down, and now we're trying to really build it up again.
What venues do you typically book at?
So originally we had the Hive, which was like a DIY venue in a warehouse in Wilkes-Barre. That closed down after the pandemic. And then
Where was that
since
at?
then,
Where was that at?
right by Angelo's. I forget the exact address. If your back is to the door of Angelo's and you look in that like little like street, there's the drugstore on the one corner, and then I forget what on the other corner. You go down there, there's a big warehouse. It's right there.
Why'd
I
it
don't know.
close?
Uh, the landlord.
Okay. Bum.
He wasn't he wasn't too excited about
Okay.
the shenanigans, I
All right.
guess.
Okay. Bum.
But since then, we had actually one show in the skate shop. That won't be a regular thing, but for the time that we did it, it was great. I mean, we do like comedy shows, art shows, acoustic shows, but this was the one time we had full bands play, and it was so great for us. But if we made it a regular thing, our neighbors would have us evicted for sure.
Right.
But other than that, we booked at the Kaiser Valley. My friend Nate booked the show, Kaiser Valley Community Center. Um, there's Basement Arts in Wilkes-Barre. I haven't had a show there yet, but I'm booking one in January. Um, where else? We've done shows at my friend Jared's, like house shows where it's like you have to ask for the address, which in its own way is cool because I mean, if you go and it's like it's an open invitation, but you kind of have to be a part of the community to kind of know where it's at. But done 2 or 3 shows there. That was really cool. My friend Bob booked that glitter show at Axelrad.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Dave and Matt will let me book a show there one day too. But right now it's like there's no solid, solitary all ages venue. So we're just kind of going rogue with it and just finding any room that will hold 4 bands for about 4 hours or whatever,
Right.
so. And so far it's been working, and if anything, it's been making it exciting because it feels fresh and new, and it's not really getting stale because, oh, Doug's Boardroom. Sorry, that's a big one. Uh,
Well, it's funny you should mention that because Kate was like, "Oh yeah, we've had tons of shows." Because Kate's mom's boyfriend owns Doug's Boardroom,
yeah, yeah.
Market Street in Kingston. Great place for cornhole, but yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, we've had like 8 shows there, or whatever it was." I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?"
I think at this point it might be 4.
Whatever
Uh,
she said. Yeah.
I'm not trying to hype myself up too much, but I had the honors of booking the first show
Okay.
at Doug's Boardroom.
Okay.
And it was so good. And Doug is such a nice the way you were talking about Mike, it's very similar to Doug, where
It
he's
seems
just such a nice, soft-spoken, happy person, you know?
it seems like that. Like, and and Kate's mom is the same way. Kate, I mean,
Yeah.
she has her moments, but Kate is awesome. We
I
all
don't know
do.
what you're talking about. I love Kate, and if you want to talk about it tomorrow,
Oh, we'll talk. She'll admit it. She'll admit it.
I know, I know.
But no, like
But yeah,
the whole family and everything about them is just like how did you get so nice? How does this
it's a good
happen? Like
vibe. Yeah.
how did
I
this
don't
happen?
know. I love all those guys.
Right?
Kate's dad, Kate's mom,
Yeah.
Doug, Mike, Kate's aunts, cousins, everybody. They're
Yeah.
all good people. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been a cool thing, and it's like Doug opened it with the intention of just being a cornhole spot, but then now it's doubling as a venue, and I don't think he expected that at all. But I think every time it's happened, there have been shows like even the first one I booked, I just like kept reassuring him where I'm like, the music sounds scary, but don't worry, we'll make sure nothing bad happens. And he was like laughing at me because he was like, you don't need to give me the rundown, it's fine, I don't care. And then by the end of the night, he was just like hanging out, drinking a beer, like loving it.
He's in the pit, just
Not yet, but we'll get him out there one day. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so far every time it's been great. And Kate just had turnover play there,
Yeah.
which is huge. Turnover hasn't played the area since one of my first shows that I went to with Mike. Um, West Side Park was another legendary venue in the area in Nanacoke. So many great shows have happened there. I've seen Turnstile there, seen Title Fight there,
Wow.
Turnover, and they didn't even headline that show because they were pretty young. Daylight, I want to say Basement, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, the list goes on. But that's the cool thing about this area is that when shows are happening in cornhole spots and community centers and VFW halls and basements and stuff, skate shops, that adds to that feeling of like excitement and like, whoa, I'm in like a strange environment where, because I feel like I love the aspect of going to a show at a venue where they have the lights set up and they have the sound guy and you give your ticket to whoever, but there's something to be said about walking up to like a community center in the middle of a neighborhood in some town you've never heard of. And then you walk up to some kid that looks just like you and you hand them $10 and they X up your hand. And then you walk into this random room to see like incredible bands just play for hours, you know?
Yeah. I kind of saw the Menzingers when they used to do that holiday show and it was that church or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, was it the gymnasium
Yeah,
kind of thing
it was weird.
outside?
Like, yeah,
Yeah, I
you can't
remember that show.
they'll never do that
Yeah.
again, right? Well, maybe they
Huh?
will. Maybe they will.
I don't know about that spot, but actually one of the holiday shows was at the Kaiser Valley Community Center, and that was such a good show.
Yeah. That's cool.
Man, I can't wait for the next generation to build that up again, where it's like there could be a modern holiday show. And I mean, I love the Men Singers, Tigers Jaw, Captain We're Sinking, all those bands. But I think they're kind of doing their own thing now, and I think that's cool. But I'm excited for the next group of kids to start the bands that touch the whole world that get to make this area special.
Yeah.
I mean, this area continues to be special, but I'm excited to see what the holiday show will look like in like 20 years, or hopefully not that long. But you know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm excited for that to happen, hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I mean, we talked about Bazaar, we talked about booking shows, we talked about
Yeah.
Caleb the musician, not the
Hey,
magician, the musician.
I'm working on magic, but I,
All
I
right,
haven't
yeah,
quite
well,
gotten it down yet.
sure. Well, we'll talk about that when you're into that.
Yeah.
Um, I think this last thing is your life at Axelrad. I mean, again, I
Yeah.
feel it's a weird dynamic. And weird only because like, I'm up front, you're in the back.
Yeah.
We'll see the crossing paths, and which is fine. We don't get to
We'll be
spend a lot of
making
time
lunch
together.
and yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun the last couple. I'm gonna miss the you in the lunchroom, and I'll walk in to grab my lunch out of the fridge or put it in the microwave, and hey, when am I gonna come on the show? Or and I'll pretend like I'm interviewing you on the spot.
I mean, we can keep the bit going. I'll act like this never happened.
Well, one of my favorite things was I forget what we were doing, but you damn it, I can't remember what it was, but it was my favorite thing. You were just
Yeah.
talking, and I just walked out of the door. I just walked out of the room, and I heard you say, "Oh," and he's gone. And I wasn't like, I didn't do it to be a dick at all. Just kind of like that was
No, I know.
that was our bit, right?
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. But so I remember,
yeah.
you were in the ink department for a long time, and then you moved into screen printing. I don't know how
Yeah.
long you've been in Axelrad, longer than I have been there.
Been there
Um,
about 6 years now.
it's a long time. It's a special place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, I lived on Park Ave in Wilkes-Barre for a little bit. That was my first apartment, and I needed a job. All my roommates worked there already, so they got me the job there. And it was just as like seasonal help. They were doing a Radiohead job and needed like extra hands. But me and my friend Dylan, when seasonal help wasn't needed anymore, we just kept showing up. And then after maybe like a month, Dennis, who for those that don't know, is my manager or and friend and you know, uh
A spiritual
figurehead,
guide.
spiritual guide, yeah.
Yeah.
Um he came up to me and he was like, "Wait, do you work here?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "I guess I gotta get you like papers and stuff, right?" And I'm like, whatever you want to do. Sure. And then since then, I just kind of bounced around. I worked in the ink department, screen reclaim. Well, I've only helped out there, but stacking, shipping, now printing. I don't know, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I think we all have done a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Not me so much. I've never really gotten to the back yet.
yeah,
I've pressed a few shirts in the DTG area.
nice,
I've
nice.
embroidered some hats myself.
There you go. I haven't done embroidery at all yet,
Yeah.
so well, I've cleaned, like cut the
Yeah,
strings.
everyone does that. Mel is always crying. I need help. I need help.
I know, I know.
That department right now is drowning.
Oh, really?
Oh
Too
yeah.
much work. Actually, I did a couple like Scranton Wilkes-Barre like Red Barons bootleg hats a while ago. I was gonna do them again, but if that's the vibe, maybe I'll hold off for a little while.
Yeah, but well, I mean, it's just busy. I mean, it's the time of year, a lot of
Oh
employee
yeah,
gifts, nice embroidered jackets. And
the
I've got a
bikinis.
job in there for the Lion Brewery. They're doing jackets and Carhartt lunch
Yeah,
boxes. Like, it's just those
love it.
guys are probably in there 24/7.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is the nature of the business, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I love working there. Honestly, like I couldn't imagine being anywhere else as long as I have been there for think other than that, the longest job that I've had was a grocery store job for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, I
Now I've
mean,
doubled that.
you really could. You can't. And I'm not going to say this to blow anybody or um, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, where else can you go where you work like for ownership like Dave and Matt?
Yeah.
You have Dennis as your Zen master.
Yeah.
It's just it's a great place. And
You
what
got Dante as my coach.
Dante, man, he's the man. He really is.
Yes,
I
he's
love
my
that guy.
coach.
He scared the shit. I remember when he first walked in the door, maybe 2 years ago. When he walked in the door, and it's just this big dude. And
Deep voice.
deep voice, big dude. And I'm like, hey man,
You're
can I
not
help you?
scared yet, but then he steps out of the way and I'm standing there and you're like, whoa.
Oh shit. Oh, I'm like, hey man, can I help you? He's like, yeah, I'm here to see Dennis. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, I'll go see if he's
There
available.
goes.
So I'm like, Dennis, there's this guy up front looking for you, man. And he says his name's Dante. He goes, oh shit, Dante. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, we're good. Well, yeah, when he first walked in,
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
I remember the one time I was getting my friend a job there and I was on the phone with my buddy and Dante was like, wait, before he starts working here, I gotta talk to him. Then he just grabs the phone with his like super deep voice. He's like, who the fuck is this? And the kid just I couldn't hear him on the other end, but I'd imagine that he was petrified
Yeah,
by
I'm
just a
sure.
random deep voice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and he's got those Carhartt boots on all the time, just like
And
with the
overalls.
fucking Axelrad overalls,
Yeah.
and he's the beanie, and I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
I always say
uh,
he reminds me, he looks like James Harden.
James Harden. I'd have to Google him.
Yeah, well, after this is over,
I mean,
Google
I'm
that.
sure, yeah, yeah. I'm sure
Google
I
it.
know him, but I'd have to see a face to
It's a
recognize.
basketball player.
Oh, okay.
But
I
but
don't
yeah.
know.
But yeah, I mean we work with just a great there's not one like asshole that
Yeah.
works there. Like you said it before, just you're surrounded by people who like help each other. And that's exactly what that place is.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis wants to come on. Dennis wants to be on the show. And I said, dude, name the date. He goes, no,
Yeah.
no. I want to do it in person. And I'm like, I need to get a studio, man. I gotta find a studio. And I don't make money
Got
doing
one
this.
right there.
Huh?
Got one right there.
This is my basement. This is the bar in my basement, dude. This is not a studio. And I am not about to have I mean, there's people I would have in my home, but I'm not
Yeah.
about to have randos in my home.
Dennis is a rando to
No,
you?
he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like I'd
Oh,
be
okay.
more
I
than
get it.
happy to
I
have
get it.
him in my home, but like other people, I'd have you in my home. But there's people that I don't know that I interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Totally.
it would be strange. But I said to him, like, I gotta find a studio. I don't make money doing this. I need to find a space that and I don't need a lot of space. Just need like a 12 by 12 or a 10 by 10, room
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
could have table, some microphones, some cameras, and ideally something I don't have to like, set up and break down every time I do a podcast. Um,
There you go.
but I said, hey, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do it until it's face to face. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm working on it. That's the goal for
Yeah.
2024. It's the
There you go. I'll
yeah.
be listening to that episode for sure. I can't
Well,
wait.
that'll be your second one, your second
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. But no, I love working there. Also, with the amount of times I've had to take off work for tour, I couldn't imagine I would keep a job the way I have with
Right.
Axelrad.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was so nervous to ask Dennis if I could like take off 2 or 4 weeks that he would come up to me after the tour got announced. He would see it on Instagram and walk up to me and be like, "Do you need some time off?" And I'd be like, "Fuck."
Shit.
I'd be so bummed.
Yeah.
He would be also bummed. But I mean, no, they were always cool with it. And I mean, I don't tour as much as I used to, thank God. But I don't know. They get it there.
Yeah, dude, I have
Love
not
it.
missed. I have not missed my kids, like, any of my kids' games. I coach my son's baseball team. If I have to leave a half hour early, not a problem. It's.
Yeah,
You said they get it. I
they
mean,
get it.
they're parents themselves. They have children. They just get the fact that life is also important, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
important to take care of your family. So
I couldn't have said it better myself.
that's because you didn't say it. I said it.
You did say it. I heard you.
Well, dude, I'm really happy that we did this.
Yeah, this was
I
great.
think
Now we know each other.
we're like besties now.
We are. Yeah.
We don't have to pretend that we like each other in the break room.
It was never pretend.
It wasn't
Not on
pretend for
my
me.
end.
Sometimes I felt like pretend for you. I'm not sure.
No, I'm just
I know, I'm kidding.
I'm just goofy like that. I don't
No,
know.
you're good. You're good, dude. No, it's always cool to like talk to people at length. And unfortunately, at work we're busy.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
being paid to do a job, so it's good to spend some time with you and get to know you and
yeah.
a little bit of your
Kate's
background
gonna
and
be so excited to hear you talk about my Michael in
my
such
Michael.
high regard.
She knows that. It's no secret.
I know.
That's why they've been
He
together for
knows
a
that too.
million years. Yeah. For anyone listening, like so, Mike is a common name, obviously, and
Yeah.
whenever someone would say Mike, Kate would say, or Michael, she'd say my Michael. So now
Now he's
Michael's name is my Michael.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I
But
love
dude,
it.
Bazaar Skate Shop, 2.5 years old. I hope
Yeah.
that I'll still know you and be friends with you when it's 20 years old.
It's
You
a
know?
long time away, but I'm excited for
Yeah. Well, you're in a good spot too. Adams Avenue in Scranton. It's
oh my God, yeah.
the whole road is very like just DIY
Yeah.
community arts entertainment. You have the barber shop there. I
Oh
haven't
my
been up
God,
there in a
yeah.
while, but the vegan restaurant I think is still there because
Eating.
the tattoo shop was there, right?
Yeah, Mark's was actually where we are. Loyalty's next door.
Right.
Spice Asian Market is across the street.
Okay.
Great people, and the bog, of course.
Right. Of course, the bog.
So
Yeah.
this is more so Tom's story to tell than mine. But when he was first like old enough to drink and they would go out skating and then go to the bog, he would always talk about he was like, one day we'll be right across the street, we'll have a skate shop. So like when it became possible for us to get the space, to him it was like a sign that it needed to happen because he was like, we got that spot. So we're lucky to be here. And I mean, I grew up going to Embassy Vinyl.
Right.
I booked 100 shows that no one showed up to. But then me and Kate, when I was a freshman in college, booked a record store day show there. And one of my best favorite memories was it was like Tiger's Jaw acoustic. Bobby Barnett played. I want to say Halfling played. I don't know, it was a full day event. Spur, West Point. I want to say, I don't know, a lot of bands, but by the time Tiger's Jaw was playing, there were kids like spilling out the door wrapped around the corner because there are windows on both sides. They were like watching through the window. It was like packed. And RJ was like, for all the shows you booked that no one showed up to, this one makes up for that. So that Embassy Vinyl, even though it's gone, will always be the place that got me into Fugazi and everything that I love.
That's cool.
So I owe it all to RJ.
All right. Fair enough.
Love that guy.
Well, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank
Like I
you.
said, it was great to spend some time with you.
Hell yeah,
Uh,
you too.
Now we can fist bump in the as we're passing because now we're like that now. We're close.
Whoa, I don't know. I don't know if I go to fist bump level.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I'm just kidding, of course.
We
But
gotta
yeah,
keep the bit going though.
I know I love
missed
our little back and forth.
I'd miss that.
Great.
I'd miss that.
Oh, me too. We
So
need to have
we'll keep it going. All right.
it.
Well, buddy, best of luck with Bazaar. Best of luck with booking
Thanks.
bands. Best of luck with all the bands you're a part of.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
And best of
Yeah.
luck with Axelrad. Hopefully we're there
See you
forever.
tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. All right, buddy.
Awesome.
Take care.
All right.
All
Later.
right, thanks.
Bye.